everybody, welcome to another Doctrzombie live stream. And I think everything is going to be bad. We're going to have lots of fun messing this up. So before I get too far into it, I'm going to unmute myself in Discord. Hello. I'm back.
Yeah.
And you're still having problems, it seems.
This website is a twat waffle, and I'm over it.
I can only offer you one more piece of advice, okay? You're not going to like it.
Unplug it and plug it back in.
Shut down all your other programs, especially Discord. Definitely, of course, have shut down Streamlab, and she just fucking rage quit. Wow, she just jumped right out. Mr. Fantastic, I'm assuming you will not be on webcam tonight?
I just don't own one, so...
That works perfectly well for catfishing. And Pluto, you were on webcam and turned it off.
Am I still off?
Yeah, that might be me, though. Let me refresh, reconnect here. Yeah, they're back, so that was me. Okay. I mean, this also could be Hayley's problem. We don't actually know. She's refusing to take any responsibility. Alright, she's rejoined here, but still there's no video. I don't know what her deal is. I assume she put something on video input source, like... I wish I could help. Hey, thanks, Amion. D&D is one of my favorite tabletop games behind Settlers of Catan, of course. I want to fill out the donation bar. Awesome, dude. Did you just do it? Is it yours? It sure is. Amion's on all four spots on the donation bar. Now we have to wait for Hayley to come back so she can scream her rage. She's back. There she is. Hello. I don't know.
If you all would love to see my face, you can follow me at Twitch TV. Smile. Wait, no, Hayley's not funny. Fuck, I forgot my own name. God damn it.
Wow. Literally, what the fuck is the problem? I don't understand.
Literally, I don't know. Like, I
So if you go to video input source, it's not picking up your webcam?
Maybe it's the web browser?
It literally says nothing. It says it doesn't even pick up my mic or my headphones. There's nothing there.
The fuck?
That could be the web browser.
I am.
Are you on Chrome?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know what it is.
Oh!
Jesus!
I figured it out.
Did you? What'd you do?
No. Let's just not talk about it because it's really stupid.
No, I really want to know now. It's important to me.
No.
But what happens if someone else has the same problem, Hayley?
You know what? Then I will, encourage this information to them.
So I've got the peanut butter whiskey in this glass. It smells bad. Like, the smell reminds me of something that makes me want to vomit. There's Hayley! Hi. She made it! Yay! 3 out of 4 ain't bad. I'm gonna taste it. Are you ready?
What is it?
It's not bad. Oh.
Oh my god, it's such a wide angle now because I don't have, my normal camera cut off.
Yeah, me either. And there's no point in the green screen either because the thing can... Look, it's not ideal, but we get to see everyone's face.
Well, here's my whole entire house. No.
Yes, here's my door and my blank walls. It's peanut butter whiskey. It's called Screwball.
Is it called... Oh, I was just about to ask you if that was that.
Yeah. It tastes like whiskey to start, and then there's the vague hint that maybe somebody accidentally dropped a Reese's peanut butter cup in it, and then there's an aftertaste of disappointment. So it's not great.
Oh. Well...
But hey,
you heard it here, folks.
I had to try it. Some people love it. Some people think it's the best. Dungeons and or Dragons.
Wait, shh! I didn't start my stream yet. You have to wait.
Okay, I'll wait. I will be a good host and wait for you to start your stream. And you can do an intro. Besides, I'm gonna open up some documents. Where is the... There it is. Torrents. Schmyrich Schmay. D&D Player's Handbook. There it is, okay.
Schmeier.
I just need to have a virtual copy of the Player's Handbook, which I do own. And if I really wanted to, I could prove it by walking it in here, but that's okay. It's just easier to keep here. Okay.
You know what? I feel like all of that is good enough, right? Oh, no, I fucked up. Okay.
So, yes, we'll wait for Hayley to start as well. It's important.
Okay. I'll be right back.
We are teammates.
I think she might be downloading RAM right now.
Gotcha. She needs a lot of extra RAM. It does take a lot to run a live stream.
Just curious if I get a token.
Oh, yes, of course. I'm so sorry. I was working on that before we started fucking around with Hayley's stuff. So you are a halfling barbarian. Let me see if I could find one that would at all be decent. These are just fucking trash. I don't know why I type in halfling and I get pictures of fucking tobacco hornworms. That makes no sense. So let me just cancel this part and just go to the free assets and look at what I can get here. Well, there's goblins, kobolds, were creatures, DM essentials. Oh, those are nice. Not, halflings, but whatever. Pirates? Hold on. Wait just a moment. Because your background, it said that you're a sailor. What kind of weapon do you have, out of curiosity? Pluto?
I think I have a longsword.
A longsword? How about...
Yeah, longsword.
How about this one off to the side? How does that look? Do you like that? Or is it not good? I can try something else.
That works for me.
That works for you? Okay, then let's go ahead and... what is your character's name? You can type it in the chat here if it's complicated.
Let's see. Oswald Stoutbridge.
Oh, man. Okay. And how many hit points do you have? Hello, Hayley. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. Cheers, everybody.
I have 13 as well.
Oh, shit. I'll pour a shot, too.
Nice. 13 as well. There you go. Oswald, also in the game.
There's everybody living more than me.
Well, you are supposed to be
Same hit points.
hiding behind them, demanding that they fall in front of your body when people try to stab it. So yes, I uploaded Hayley's picture into the game, and then I grabbed some generic tokens for you guys. So, there we are. Before we get started, Hayley, first level spells. Let me tell you about them. Do you have your character sheet ready? Do you have a pencil?
I sure do.
Or whatever it is that you need to cram those words in?
Oh, I'm just going to write it on here and pray that I know what the hell I'm saying.
Okay. Stop me when you hear one that you want to hear more about, okay? I'm going to just give you the 10-second explanation. Alarm. You cast a spell, and an alarm goes off when somebody comes inside a specific area. Burning hands. You create a cone of fire in front of you. Charm person. You charm somebody into thinking that they're your best friend and they'll do stuff for you. Chromatic orb. You can turn a orb of energy into 5 or 6 different types, like acid, electric, fire, ice, different things like that, and do damage. Color spray. You create a cone of colorful sprays that knocks people unconscious. Comprehend languages. You can understand, speak, and read languages that you don't normally have. Detect magic. You can detect what magic is around you and what type of school it is, and if you focus long enough, additional information. Disguise self. You can make minor changes to your appearance so that you look like somebody else. Expeditious retreat. You can move faster for a short amount of time. False life. I'm not entirely sure on that one. I will have to look it up. But I think it probably makes you look alive when you're not, or something. Featherfall. You fall slowly to the ground instead of plummeting to your splatterful death. Find Familiar. You can locate a creature that becomes your little pet familiar and gives you bonuses and stuff.
Oh, I want that!
Okay.
Pet best friend.
I'm gonna have to look into that one. Let me get you a little more information on Find Familiar. Fein.
I'm gonna take a shot in the meantime. So cheers.
Cheers. Find Familiar. Okay, casting the spell costs you 10 gold pieces worth of charcoal, incense, and herbs, but you gain the service of a familiar, a spirit that takes an animal form you choose. Either a bat, a cat, a crab, a frog or toad, hawk, lizard, octopus, owl, poisonous snake, fish, rat, raven, seahorse, spider, or weasel. Appearing in an unoccupied space within range, the familiar has the statistics of the chosen form, although it is a celestial, fey, or fiend, your choice, instead of a beast. Your familiar acts independently of you, but it always obeys your commands. In combat, it rolls its own initiative and acts on its own turn. It can't attack, but it can take other actions as normal. When the familiar drops to 0 hit points, it disappears, leaving behind no physical form. It reappears after you cast the spell again, and pay the 10 gold again. While your familiar is in 100 feet of you, you can communicate with it telepathically. Additionally, as an action, you can see through your familiar's eyes and hear what it hears until the start of your next turn, gaining the benefits of any special senses that the familiar has. During this time, you are deaf and blind with regard to your own senses. As an action, you can temporarily dismiss your familiar. It disappears into a pocket dimension where it awaits your summons. Alternatively, you can dismiss it forever. As an action, while it is temporarily dismissed, you can cause it to reappear in any unoccupied space within 30 feet of you. You can't have more than one familiar at a time. If you cast a spell while you already have a familiar, you instead cause it to adopt a new form. Choose one of the forms from the above list. Your familiar transforms.
Does it cost me 10 gold to rebring it back from the dimension?
No. If you dismiss it, it is temporarily held. You only spend the money if you are changing its form, so turning it from a cat into an octopus, or if it dies and you need to create a new one. When you cast a spell with a range of touch, your familiar can deliver the spell as if it had cast the spell. So if you cast a spell that is touch somebody and they take damage, you can cast that spell and have your cat claw somebody's face and they take damage. Your familiar must be within 100 feet of you, and it must use its reaction to deliver the spell when you cast it. If the spell requires an attack roll, you can use the modifier. It is, but you know what? Here's what you need to know.
Because you said my familiar can't cause damage, but now it can?
Only if it's you casting a spell through your familiar. So
I can use I could use a cantrip through my familiar.
Only if it has a range of touch. So you can't cast like a ray of frost through your familiar. Your cat can't open its mouth and a bolt of frost come out of it. But if it's something where it walks up and touches something, your cat can walk up and touch something as you cast the spell through your cat. So it allows you to... Basically what people tend to use this for, find familiar, is they create either a cat or a bird or some sort of small animal.
I'm thinking to find out information.
Exactly. To scout an area, to sneak into a room that you can't get in because the cat or bird is small. And you can look through its eyes, you can hear what it hears. People ignore it because it's just a fucking cat. And then you can get the information. So that's what people use Find Familiar for. If that interests you, and it probably should because it sounds fucking badass, put it as one of the 6 spells on your spell list.
Oh, I'm already 5 in. Let's keep going.
You've already picked 5 others? Okay. Or was this from my
possibly, I don't know.
Okay.
Yes, from your easy descriptions. I need the easy shit, people, okay?
Okay. And we're only like in the letter F's. There's still all the way to the letter W.
Well, I can write more than one and we'll figure it out later.
Fog cloud creates a cloud of fog that makes it difficult to see. Grease makes the floor slippery. Identify identifies the magical properties of an item, a magic item. Illusory script, it's like disappearing ink. You create script and then it vanishes or whatever. I'm not 100% sure. Jump, I think it makes you able to jump like really high or really far. Long strider, I think that lets you travel long distances without any like tiredness issues. Mage armor. This is good. Gives you a big armor class. You create a force field around your body. Makes it harder to hit you. Magic missile. Even better. Magic missile is a magic attack that never misses. It always hits its target, and it always does a predictable amount of damage. Protection from evil and good. You can create a mental block in someone's head so that people can't mind control it or fuck with it in other ways. Ray of sickness. You make someone take damage and also become poisoned, which makes them weak. Shield. I think it's the one spell that protects against magic missile. Silent image. You create an illusion that doesn't make any noise, but it could be like a naked woman running through the street. Sleep. You put some targets to sleep. Tasha's hideous laughter. You cause someone to laugh uncontrollably until you murder them. Tensor's floating disc. An invisible disc floats around and carries your shit for you. Thunder wave. You create an explosion of sound that knocks people back. Unseen servant. A little ghost that no one can see will go and clean your house and shit. And witch bolt. Witch bolt is another damage attack thing that if it hits its target, it keeps hitting it every turn as long as you focus on it. Like it's like a leech that sucks onto it, starts hurting it and shit. Okay. You've probably written down more than 6 if you were just writing down all the ones that sound good. So now you need to narrow it down to 6, your 6th favorite.
Fuck, I have 7.
Oh, okay, well that's not bad. You only need to get rid of 1.
Yeah, but I don't know which one I want to get rid of.
Tell me the 7 you have.
Alarm, language, detect magic, featherfall, find familiar, mage armor, and magic missile.
What were the first 3 again?
Alarm, language, detect magic.
Get rid of comprehend languages.
Okay.
You can pick it up later. Every time you level up, you can add 2 more spells to your book for free. And if you have the time and the money and the opportunity, you can always pay to write new spells into your book. If you, say, are visiting a library that has magic spells, you can spend a certain amount of money and time to add the spells to your book. That's the perk of being a wizard, is that you can get shit tons of spells. You just can't use them all every day.
I'm thinking of like that one spell, the grease, and just thinking of the opportunities you could recreate Home Alone with it.
Oh yeah, no, all of...
Oh, bro, let me tell you how much fucked up situations I'm going to cause with minor illusion.
Yeah, in any case, much like the crap guide to D&D says, wizards love Fireball, but there are so many other spells that have so many opportunities if you just have a little creativity.
But Fireball!
But Fireball! Exactly. Why do I need opportunity when I can roast everyone in the room? Yes, that does make sense. Okay, I think with that we are ready to go. Is there anything else that anyone needs character-wise before we get started?
How many cantrips can I use a day? 1?
No.
I guess
As many as you want.
As many as you want.
Okay.
Cantrips are like the stabbing someone with a dagger.
It's level 1, I have 2 of those a day, got it.
Right, level 1, you have 2 a day. Is it? I think it might be more than that.
I think
I have 2 slots.
Slots
total,
total
like that.
2, yes. So it is currently 2.
I think the only thing that I have character-wise is like the things that I would know. But
I may have to double check that. But for now, you should mark down 2 of your spells as ones that you are currently memorized for the day. These are ones that you're like, I've prepared this morning. And then you can cast 2 spells per day. I think you might actually get more memorized. Like you are able to memorize 3 spells or 4 spells or something like that. Prepare. Sorry, not memorize. It would be under wizard. I would have to look real quick. I will try to look really quick. Getting close. Warlock. And wizard. Cantrips known. First level spells, slots per level 2. Is there a... Ooh, wait a minute. Here you go. So, the prepared list is equal to your intelligence modifier, which is 3, plus your wizard level, which is 1. So you prepare 4. So you can fill in the dot next to 4 spells. These are the ones that you woke up this morning and you did a little research in your book and remembered how to cast them. So later today you can cast them.
Okay.
Within tons of... Yep. You can change your prepare spells and long rest preparing new. At least 1 minute per spell. Spellcasting ability. But that doesn't tell me how many you can cast per day.
It says 2.
It's the wizard table. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Okay. So out of those 4, you can cast 2 of them, and it can be the same one. But basically, when you need to, when you decide, fuck, I really need to use a spell right now, then you pick the one of those 4 that you've prepared.
Oh, I never picked a bag or anything either, so just pick one for me, because I don't know.
A bag. What was it? The package.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what kind of cat hairballs I'm gonna need for shit. Okay.
You can pick it later. It's okay. We'll get started, and as we play or next time, you'll have it ready to go. Okay, so here we are. We're ready to start. For real this time. Let me just make sure chat is ready. Merkdrake says it's time for crab. I assume he means you're familiar. He wants you to have a crab familiar. Okay. Hayley and Mr. Fantastic. You both wake up unsure of where you are. It's dark and slimy, and it smells a hell of a lot like fish. You can feel the slight rocking of the ocean beneath you, as if you were on board a ship. And at the moment that you start wondering, where the fuck am I? What's going on? You hear people talking above you, saying, crack it open. Open it up. Let's see what we've got this time. Hayley, you see the corner of a crate that you're currently inside start to open up as a crowbar is shoved in, and then the lid is pried off. You realize that you are lying on top of a crate absolutely filled to the brim with ocean fish from a recent catch. And there are 2 confused humans looking down at you. One of which is wearing a red and white striped shirt with the arms torn off up to his shoulders, and he's got big muscly arms with an anchor tattoo on it. And the other one's this burly man with a long beard and one glass eye, and they're both staring at you incredulously because you're not a fish. Behind them, above them, as your eyes adjust to the sudden burst of sunlight, you can see a man standing on a balcony overlooking what you assume is a dock, since the ship isn't moving, and you see like a city. And he looks down at the men and he goes, "What the fuck? Put the lid back on! Put the lid back on and bring that crate to the side! What's wrong with you?" To which the 2 sailors shrug their shoulders. Before you can say or do anything, they put the lid back on and nail it shut again. And you feel yourself being hoisted up off the boat and carried somewhere. Mr. Fantastic, you hear all of this going on near you, and then suddenly you feel the sudden motion of being lifted and carried along as well. And the 2 of you are being carried away. Is there anything you'd like to do at this very strange moment?
Well, I would immediately like to grab my dagger and start scratching at the fucking crate. Or
Okay.
either... Yeah, I think that, yeah.
You do grab your dagger and you pull it out and you start trying to jab at the crate, but you're finding it incredibly difficult to do so because your hands are just covered in fish blood and guts. And it's very...
Am I still being carried?
Yes, and you're very uncomfortable. There's fish parts rubbing all over you in your cloak and outside of it. It's you have no idea how you got here. You cannot remember for the life of you.
Okay. I'm gonna create an illusion that there's spiders coming out of the crate and crawling all over these men.
Okay, this is a good time for me to roll. Oh, okay. So you send a bunch of little black widow spiders crawling out from the sides of the crate, and you hear one of the sailors go, "What the hell? There's a bunch of spiders in the crate." And the other sailor goes, "There weren't any spiders in the crate a minute ago. Just keep carrying the crate. You don't want to piss Gellin off." And he goes, "All right." And they just keep carrying the crate.
Well, didn't Haley say that the spiders would start crawling up the guys?
Oh yeah, no, and like the crate shakes a bit as you assume they're trying to like scrape spiders off, but the spiders aren't moving off because you're trying to just make them crawl, and you can't quite see where they're going, so you can't like mentally make the spiders fall off as they scrape them. So one of them goes, I don't think these are real. And the other one goes, they're not biting me. Just hurry up and get this thing in there before we get fired. And then we can get these damn spiders off. Mr. Fantastic, as you're jabbing your dagger into the crate, make a d20 roll for me.
That's a 1d20?
Yes. So /R. There we go. 1d20. Yeah, you do not get very far into this wood.
You didn't do shit, dude. What the hell are you doing?
You might be able to scratch the beginning of your initials into the lid before the dagger slips out of your hand and rolls into the fish. And you have to roll over and start digging into it. Eventually, you do wrap your fingers around the hilt of the dagger. As you do, Hayley and Mr. Fantastic, you feel the crates lowered onto the ground. Thump, thump. And then you hear the same man from earlier going, all right, close the damn door and open up the crates. I want to see who's inside. A short moment later, Pluto, you push a crowbar into the top of Mr. Fantastic's crate and pry it off. And Hayley, your crate is pried open by the same two sailors you saw earlier. Pluto, you've been working with this man for a short while as a sailor, a fisher. This is Gellin Primewater. He's a local noble, a dapper older gentleman with a neatly trimmed beard and a fancy wardrobe. You don't know that this man has ever worked a legitimate day in his life, but he pays you quite well to just do your job and keep quiet about anything that doesn't make a lot of sense, like two strangers showing up in a crate full of fish. Gellin looks down at you, Hayley, from a set of stairs in what appears to be a warehouse filled with similar crates with fish, and at your position, you probably can't tell if there's anything else in there. And he draws a wide, grinned smile to his face and goes, well, caught from the sea, were you? He seems to be waiting for you or Mr. Fantastic to address him.
I don't address shitty men.
Well, I suppose.
Then you don't remember how you got here?
No.
Well, if I had to guess, and
I want off this ship or I'm gonna kill somebody, I swear.
you're no longer on a ship. You are on dry land, madame.
Well, bye.
Okay. You hop up and climb out of the crate. No one moves to stop you. But Gellin just holds his hands up like, relax, it's okay, you're fine. I'm terribly sorry. If I'd have known that we were receiving guests, I certainly wouldn't have had you brought in a bucket of fish heads. You probably owed someone a favor, or perhaps you've been running from someone. I don't personally know the details, but I was told that I would expect 2 unusual visitors in a quiet and unassuming manner, that I was to treat you kindly and then let you go on your way. But I am very curious. Have you gotten into some sort of trouble? Yeah, I take it from your silence that you have, and that's your business, ma'am. You certainly look like the type of person who might get into some trouble. You, on the other hand, don't look like it, sir, and he addresses Mr. Fantastic, whose character name I wrote down, Aurelian. You don't look like the type who would be on the run from something. And the corner of his smile curls up a little bit, like he knows exactly why someone who looks like you would be running. No, in fact, you look like you might have the air of a soldier about you. Well, welcome to Saltmarsh, friends.
Thanks.
Thanks.
I can't help but have everything be here, or here be completely awkward.
It's absolutely awkward.
Tis an awkward day on the shore.
It is. He says, well, I mean, my end of the bargain is complete. You are, of course, free to go.
And what did you get out of this bargain?
That's my personal business, ma'am. And if you'd like to be involved in my business, I'm sure I could offer you a job. But I would prefer to get to know you better first. Other than carrying cargo crates on and off the dock, I prefer to keep my contacts a little more personal. And you don't look like the type who's interested in hard labor. But come by once you've explored the town a bit. Perhaps I will find something that you could do for me.
Where is this place?
You are in Saltmarsh. It is the very southernmost point of the Keoland Empire. I'm sure you are familiar with that. We are a fishing and trading port. Recently come under the more direct scrutiny of the Empire and the King, as there is the belief that a local mine that the dwarves are setting up might be filled with silver. The King has sent some of his agents and allies down to the town to make sure that the mining operation goes off smoothly, and we, of course, support our king and our kingdom, but we've lived a long time without the interference of our government, and we've made a hefty profit off of the rich trading and fishing around our humble town. So not everyone here is happy to see the king's soldiers moving into town. I, of course, have nothing but the finest respect for our leader and his lordship, but I also have made quite a name for myself as a merchant and reputable dealer of foreign goods, which you are no doubt soon to learn about, as my name is highly praised among the townsfolk here. But I think that brings you up to speed.
And how long have you been here?
Oh, I was raised here. I've been on the council for maybe 5 or 6 years, but my family has long lived in Saltmarsh, and My manor, which you are currently in the basement of, is well known, as are my many fleets of fishing ships and merchant vessels. Oswald, if you would kindly show our friends around the town for a little while, and then come back to me later today, we'll discuss what your next assignment for me is.
Okay, sir.
Yep. All right. Well, with that, I wish you good luck and good fortune here in Saltmarsh. There is good money to be made for loyal, helpful individuals. Not just in my manor, but there's plenty of work to go around. But just keep your noses clean, and I'm sure we'll all have a fine time. Yes, fine time. And he picks up a bottle of wine from one of these boxes that you thought were supposed to be filled with fish. And he looks it over and he goes, "Yes, this is an excellent vintage." And he pops it and heads upstairs. Hayley and Mr. Fantastic and Pluto, can I get a spot check, a perception check from you? Now, for those of you...
All three of us?
Yes, all three of you. Pluto, you haven't actually been in this room before. You were sort of following the two guys. You've only just started working here a few days ago. Trying to get the last vessel you were on has gone under financially. So you've recently switched allegiances. You know a little bit about Gellin. He's sort of an eccentric, noble person. He always throws these elaborate parties to sort of impress people in town. But you have this feeling like maybe he does that to cover for something. Could be small penis, could be something more devious. You're not sure. But this is the first time. It's probably a small penis. It's probably a small penis. This is the first time you've been in this room, and the other two sailors have just wandered off to take care of stuff. So you're taking a look around as well. So, how to roll a spot check? On your character sheet, you've got the perception check. You've got a skill called Perception. It is a wisdom-based skill. If you have the little dot filled in, you also add your proficiency bonus. Otherwise, you just add your wisdom modifier. So, Hayley, yours is going to be a +1. So what you will do is you'll type /R 1d20 +1. And I will show you what that looks like here. You're going to type in something like that.
I'm assuming if you have 0, it's just 1d20.
Just a flat d20.
Oh, I did it wrong.
The hell?
Hayley did not do well. If it's a /R space. Mr. Fantastic hasn't done great either. But did better than Hayley.
We suck, dude.
Hayley's got fish guts and fish scales in her eyes still.
Dude, it's fucking disgusting, and it smells in here.
Pluto. Okay. So, Pluto, you notice a couple of things. Just quickly scanning the area while you're pretending to lead Hayley and Mr. Fantastic out the door, you peek at a few of these crates that are labeled sardines or, apples, and notice that they are not filled with sardines or apples. One of them is filled with daggers, just filled to the brim with well-crafted weapons. Daggers, maybe some short swords even in there. And another one is filled with exotic fruit that you are fairly certain might not be entirely legal to bring into this port. It might require a permit that you don't think anyone has. So you just a quick glance around, you're like, yeah, that's not kosher. Now the elaborate parties are making a little more sense, as is the sudden invitation to come back later to have a chat.
Do I see any, buckets of water?
Yeah, there's probably a barrel of fresh water here used to clean things that come in. So yes, there's fresh water here.
Hey guys, can you clean yourself off? You kind of smell.
Yeah, I should probably go do that.
Listen, I don't clean myself out of buckets of water. Where's the nearest
Bathhouse.
inn?
You can jump
Bathhouse
into the sea.
in whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Let's find out where the nearest bathhouse is. You would, of course, know this, Pluto. You're vaguely familiar with the town, some of its inhabitants. If you have a question about it, you can say, hey, who's that person? Or who might I go for if I need this? Let me check here. So, if you're looking for, like, a genuine bath, there's a couple inns that might suit you. So there's the tavern. Let me double check here. So you're currently in a place called Prime Water Mansion. This is Gellin Primewater's large mansion on the docks. He likes to stand on the balcony and oversee his ships as they come in, shout orders to crew, etc. That's where you first laid eyes on him, Hayley. And of course, it has a great location with a secret entrance that you just saw opened, Pluto, that he brings in boxes that are not fish. He also hosts extravagant parties upstairs in his main mansion. As for the Snapping Line, is an inn and tavern built from planks and hulls of a half-dozen decommissioned fishing ships. That's one place that you could get a room, and each room would have a simple either shower or bath in it. You're not entirely sure which one it would be, Pluto. There are... you could probably get a bath at the Temple of Procon. It's the temple of the sea god. They have several water facilities at the temple because it is, again, a temple to a sea god. So public baths are something that they offer, especially for sailors who have become gross by just being sailors. Sailors happen to be one of their most common worshippers because, again, the sea god. Think Greeks worshipping Poseidon. Please don't kill us, great Poseidon. So that's another place you could get a bath. There you could get it for free, especially if you're covered in fish guts. Those are the two that come to mind immediately. Or you could simply jump in the harbor if that's what you're into.
That would just make me smell more like fish. I am a sailor, so I am going to go to the temple.
Okay. You don't have the sailor background though, right?
No.
Okay. You're pretending to be one. Okay, fair enough.
But I am a sailor.
You're certainly not going to get any questions when you say that you work on a sailing ship and you're covered in fish guts.
Exactly.
There's not too many reasons.
I think I'll follow Haley there.
And I will lead the way.
Okay. The temple is... Should have left it open, but I closed it for some stupid reason.
Along the way, I want to say that I've been in their position before, except I've never been in a crate, just hauled up in the nets because people like to throw me overboard.
Classic hazing. It's up here. It's up on the
Classic
cliffside. So I'm pinging the location. You can see my little circle bouncing around. So that is where you guys are headed to now, 26. That is the temple. And you arrive there. You're guessing it is about late morning by the time you've gotten unloaded from the ship, had your introduction with Gellin Primewater, and then wandered through the streets. And Hayley, you do receive a few confused looks. There are not a lot of tieflings that are also covered in fish guts that have come through this town. You're guessing that you're one of a handful of tieflings at all. But that's not unusual for you. Tieflings are rare. You're treated usually with suspicion and fear. However, that does not seem to be the case today. These people, whether they're hardened by the sea or by this remote backwater town that you are currently in, they seem to give you space rather than throwing rocks at you and all that sort of shit. Maybe it's just because you smell like fish. Although, the whole town kind of smells a little bit like the sea. From up high on the cliffs here in front of the temple, you can see the ocean spreading out far beyond. It looks like there's maybe an island or two in the near distance. You can definitely see sailing ships of all sizes, fishing boats coming and going from the port. Yeah, you could see that it's actually, in spite of the fact that it is a border town, a backwater place, it's actually a fairly large place. There are a lot of large structures that you've passed by. It's not small. There are a few thousand people that definitely live and work here. And you have also noticed a large number of dwarves coming and going. Especially once you got onto this road leading out of town here. It looks like they travel in large caravans filled with carts of mining supplies up this road off the distance to the east.
I'm sorry, what the fuck is Pluto's name?
Oswald. Oh, is it not visible?
Oswald. No, it's not.
Oh, that's strange. I'll fix that.
So, Oswald, how long have you known Gellin?
Got it.
Oh, for years. I've known him for years. Like, he's been a real good man. First time I met him was like 4 days ago, though.
Good to know, thanks.
Everybody around here loves him.
Have you been in here, this area long?
About 4 days.
Okay.
Yes, that all tracks. Known him for years. Met him 4 days ago.
Oswald, kind of a dick.
Very confused about time.
That's what happens when you're out at sea for like 4 years and you just get thrown in the ocean every now and then, repeatedly.
Pluto definitely has the signs around him that he is a sailor. He's got, the muscular arms and the tattoos that are associated with a sailing life. But he is a halfling. He's very, very small. A hobbit, essentially. And they don't often make for sailors. It's just unusual. Halflings usually tend to be farmers, and they eat a lot, and they sit a lot. Sailing is a tough job.
So I look down at him a lot because I'm like 9 feet tall.
you're like 5'11", right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm 5'2".
Yep.
I'm taller than all the men around me. This is why they look at me.
And Hayley, you and Mr. Fantastic have never met before either. You're not sure why he was delivered in a crate filled with fish to the docks either. Now, you both may know or may not know why you may have been smuggled into town, essentially. But there you have it.
I know, but it's not something I'm going to talk about.
You're putting the pieces together like, yes, I believe I may have been smuggled in here for a reason. Or maybe you don't remember. Okay. Anything else? I'm happy to stop and discuss for a while. You have a long walk to get to the temple.
So what were you guys doing in the fish boxes?
I honestly don't remember how I even got here.
Well, you jumped in a fish box and you came on a ship. That's how you got here.
Somehow.
I will just also second the statement that I actually don't know.
You people are strange.
Well, you know what they say.
I like your costume, by the way.
You think this is a costume?
It's not a costume?
I'm just gonna walk away.
Matt, you're going the wrong way.
Evidently, you've offended her. All right. Pluto, you know that the Temple of Procon is led. The congregation is led by a one-legged former whaler by the name of Welgar Brinehand. He's an older human man with a very sharp memory. Regales people with tales of every storm, every lost ship, and enormous catch that's ever been brought into Saltmarsh. If it wasn't for the fact that he was actually like the leader of the temple, you would just assume that he's an old deckhand, the type of guy who sits around a bar all day, drinking whiskey and talking about the tales of the biggest fish he ever caught. He doesn't really care too much about shore matters. He doesn't really involve himself in local politics, doesn't give one shit about the dwarves and their silver mine, but he loves to talk about, the weather and how it would impact fishing or what kind of catches have been brought in, etc. But he's very devoted to Procon. The temple has a bell tower on top it. It's served by about half a dozen novices and lay people who keep things running smoothly. And as you approach, there's not many people here. Most of them have gone out to sea for the day to fish and such. So as you approach, you're greeted by one of the novices who is asking you, "What can we do for you here? How can we assist?"
They need showers or baths or something. They kind of smell like shit.
Yep. This particular person is a half-elf, sort of lanky and thin, but definitely has the air of somebody who spent a lot of time near the sea, and looks you over and goes, "I believe that you do, and I think that we can provide that service for you." And he brings you over to a pool of clear water, with a rope that goes up to a device that when you pull on the rope, cold water comes rushing down over you, and then it goes into a drain. So the whole thing kind of recycles itself and then goes out to sea. You're not entirely sure where the water is coming from, but it does appear that there's plenty of it. It's not hot. It's cold. Fortunately, it's a warm day, so you won't be freezing your butt off. But there you go. Hayley, Mr. Fantastic, if you wish, you can wash away the smell of fish.
Oh, I'm way ahead of you.
Oh. Of course, I go in and wash.
Already there. Are you disrobing as well, or are you just washing with all your clothes on?
First I wash my clothes off, and then I disrobe, and then wash myself.
This is D&D, people. It's time to get naked. Okay.
This is the kind of naked dick punching stuff we want. Okay, yeah. I would be washing my clothes and also myself.
Okay.
Because...
there's not much for privacy, but honestly, people don't even seem to care. You're washing your clothes, you're washing your bodies. The temple workers just go about their business. As you finish up, you notice that one of the acolytes has laid a bunch of fresh, warm towels on a bench next to the bath. It's kind of like they do this as a service for people, and it's something that is very common. So, yeah, you feel about 1,000,000 times cleaner than you did 5 minutes ago.
Like, thank him and then dry off.
Mm-hmm. All right. Once you've taken care of some body necessities, the three of you are standing there outside the temple. Pluto, you've been instructed to guide them around town, and you're not really sure how important that really is, so much as to get rid of you for a little while. But you don't have to be back till nightfall to Gellen's mansion.
Is Welgar there?
Yes.
While they are showering, I would like to talk to him about the weather and what he thinks the weather's going to be like for the day.
Okay.
And just talk to him about like the current fishing season.
So you walk up to him and engage him in conversation about the weather, and he's like, well, there was a red sky last night, so I am expecting a smooth sailing today. I expect there to be a big catch. Let me just do a quick check here. Okay. He's hopefully fortunes will be turning. Lately, for the last couple of weeks, catches have been pretty slim. Everybody except for Gellen and one or two of the other nobles with lots of ships have been having a rough time of it. And you, Pluto, completely agree with this. As you remember, your ship just went under financially. They were having a tough time making ends meet, and you got laid off, essentially. But he does mention that Anders Solmar has enough ships that he's able to bring in a small catch. But Welgar is praying, literally praying, that the sea fortunes change, that the sea god becomes pleased, and that the fish will return in the next few weeks. He makes an offhanded comment about having treated a number of bar fight wounds recently and not being happy about it.
Am I able to overhear any of this?
Probably not, because you're currently...
Actually, during this conversation, I'd like to speak with... How do I say? Aurelian?
Aurelian.
Aurelian, I whisper to him, asking him why he was in the crates.
Well, I really don't have any memory. I do have some slight suspicions, but I'm not 100%.
Care to share?
I actually haven't decided on exactly what it is. I was thinking of, but it's obviously out of character, but I was thinking of, I was kicked out from some, military group of some country because, I did something.
So let me ask you a question. If you did know, would you be truthful to Hayley or would you conceal it?
Now I am
Well,
very charming.
it depends on exactly what it was that did happen, though.
Okay.
That would change my...
Okay, so the real reason, the last thing that you remember about trying to get out of... You were trying to get out of the main city because you pissed off somebody in the military to the point where they were trying to get you arrested. You basically made a power move to try to go up over somebody's head in your mercenary company, and in doing so, you pissed off the local guard. Somebody who had a decent, like a colonel, who had a decent rank in the local militia. And in order to evade going to prison, you booked a one-way ticket the fuck out of town. That's the last thing you remember. Now, are you telling Hayley any of that?
I'll just say that somebody in the military got pissed off at me.
Hayley, you definitely recognize that Mr. Fantastic that Aurelian has some signs that he's worked in the Keelan military. He probably has a badge or a tattoo, or he's got some regal clothing that fits the background of a soldier, but not perfectly. He's not like the rank and file guardsmen who walk up and down the streets keeping law and order. He looks more like a mercenary or someone who has a sellsword of some sort who may rent his services out to the government, but also may rent his services out to other people. So he pissed off someone in the military.
Okay. That's all I needed.
Any other conversation? She asked you. It's fair to ask back, if you care.
See, you didn't have to say
What?
that. He wasn't catching on to that.
He's a little...
So why did you get here? Or why did you get in the crate
One
as
reason
well?
or another.
Okay. She's being shady about it. No problem. All right. Pluto, you've had a very fine conversation about the weather and about hopefully the changing luck of the sea. Right now, apparently, fish are just not here. It's unusual, but there's been an extended drought of fresh fish. Is there anything else you wanted to talk to Welgar about?
Not in particular. Is there like a fountain where donations are placed?
Yes. Yeah, in fact,
I'd like to go.
It's very much like a wishing well type situation. You throw your coins into a well, like a pond, like at an old mall, and then every night they scrape out the coins and they use it for donations. The sea theme is very strong here. But yeah,
I'd like to go over and take one of the copper pieces if there are any in there. Just one.
just reach in and steal one.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to try to do it sneakily?
I'm gonna look to see if anyone's watching me.
Okay. Let's just do a straight stealth check. This is... normally I'd make you do perception then stealth, but you're just trying to see if anyone's watching and then reach in and grab something. That is dexterity unless you have it as a skill.
I did it wrong again.
Yep. It's slash then they are.
Every time.
Every fucking time.
Thanks, Reddit.
We did it, Reddit. We tanked a bunch of
going
mutual funds.
down businesses.
We ruined a bunch of people's retirement funds. No.
There we go.
Oh fuck.
Okay. You do notice a couple acolytes in the area, but you reach down into the pond and act like you're scooping some water into your face to sort of wash off your face.
And it goes right in my mouth.
In doing so, you slide a pair of copper into your mouth, walk down the hall a bit, pick them out. You've got 2 copper. 2 people's wishes ruined. But yep, you give yourself a little chuckle as you walk out of the sea god's temple, having stolen from him. But it's fine. I'm sure you need it more than the Lord of the Sea does. Okay. You all reconvene outside of the temple. Is there anything else you'd like to do here before moving on?
I think I would. I'm gonna ask them what they think about the silver mine that's going on here.
Okay.
Who?
Both.
Us?
Yeah.
I mean, it might be good for jobs and all, but this is a fishing port. We don't need no mine here.
Silver doesn't seem like it's worth much.
Okay. So Pluto, given your answer, you are familiar vaguely that there are 2 factions in the town. Basically, there's the loyalists who are very pro the king, pro Keoland, pro Silvermine. And then there's the traditionalists who are very pro fishing, pro leave us alone, pro this place was better before the king got involved, etc. And your boss, Gellin, certainly falls into the line of the loyalists. You're not too familiar with the rest of the townsfolk's alignments, but you do know that Gellin often talks to another member of the council called Edda Oland. Edda is the senior member of the council. She's been elected to the council 3 times. She's a gruff, pragmatic woman with graying hair, cut short. Her face bears the marks of a life lived outdoors. She's very interested in expanding Saltmarsh's fishing industry, especially up the coast a bit where it's a little more wild. She's hoping to build a new dock, and she's very suspicious of the dwarves' new mining enterprise. She doesn't think there's any silver in the hills. She doesn't think it's going to amount to much. She just thinks it's an excuse for the crown to send soldiers and interferers down here. You find that your sentiments and her sentiments and Gellin's sentiments are often echoed in the taverns where the sailors and fishers meet. There's a lot of growing suspicion for the kingdom. And a lot of frontier leave us alone type, which makes perfect sense for the border town. All 3 of you probably know that Keoland recently fought a long, extended war with one of its neighbors. They were originally winning. Early in the war, they took a bunch of land. They were, winning the war. It looked like they were going to conquer an entire other community. And then something happened. Things went south. They had to fall back, and they eventually signed an armistice pretty much at their original borderline. After that is when the crown started expressing interest in its southern border, which is where Saltmarsh is. Saltmarsh, again, Pluto probably knows that it's been plagued in the past by pirates and slavers, and the people here have fought them off without the crown's help. They did nothing to help.
He got here 4 days ago. Why would he know that shit?
Well, Pluto's actually been around.
I'm a sailor for 4 years.
Yeah, he's been around the area. He just hasn't started working here until recently. So he kind of knows a little bit about the region. Nothing specific.
I've come to port, but I've never gotten off my ship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. That's a lot of background. If you have any questions about it, bring them up. Otherwise, we're just going to continue on and see where it leads us.
I'm sorry, you said Gellion is more of the loyalist?
Yeah, Gellin Prime Water is more of the traditionalist.
Okay, you said loyalist at first, that's why I'm asking.
I apologize. I meant traditionalist. He's made a fortune without the crown interfering.
Got it.
And he's done it through legitimate fishing practices.
Legitimate.
Is the crown interested in him at all?
You don't know. Pluto probably doesn't know either. But it's something to keep in mind.
Would we know all of this? I feel like all of that was just stuff Pluto knew.
It's stuff that Pluto's probably telling you.
He's talking about it in general conversation that we're barely listening to.
Yeah, you would know about the history of the Empire and about how they've turned their attention toward recontrolling parts of their kingdom that have gotten a little out of hand. While they were fighting a war, they didn't care what was happening way down south. The war was up north. So you know from experience that there was a lot of talk about lawlessness in the south and, strange, how would I... It's, creatures encroaching on crown lands that don't belong there. Civilizations like goblins would be an example, breaking into communities that the crown wasn't helping before, and now they're turning their attention to it. That type of thing. Not specific.
What time is it?
By the time you get done with your bath and everything, it's late morning, probably close to noon.
I would also probably know how big the Empire roughly is now.
Yes, you would. So Saltmarsh, again, very southern tip of it. Most of the Empire's resources and big cities are in the north and the northwest area. I do not have a... Well, I'll get to it at some point. I'll probably next session. I'll bring a more larger map of the area you're in now. But Keoland is fairly large.
All right.
I would like to find a marketplace.
Okay. Interesting that you should bring up a marketplace, or at least a place to buy goods, because the next building over, number 28 here, when you walked by, you probably noticed a sign hanging from it that read... Winston's Store. Yes. If you ask Pluto if there's any other places to shop, he may be able to provide some for you. Actually, you guys started in what building? Number 16. So you were here when you started. So you came up the road and then went past this building here. So you went past 21, 19, 17, 18, and a bunch of small, insignificant houses. So
Oswald, where do the people gather in this town?
They gather here if they just come off a ship.
So there's a couple places. It depends what she means by gather. The temple, for example, is one place people might gather. If you're looking for a place to drink, there are a couple taverns. If you're talking about like the town hall, if you're talking about the marketplace, there's a marketplace on top of the bridge, number 10 there. And on on the first day of each week, so on basically Sunday, people gather here, right next to Gellen's mansion, for the weekly market. It's currently Wednesday, though.
Fuck it. I just got off a ship and I smelled like fish. I want a drink.
Okay, let's go to the bar. I heard there were some good bar fights in the region.
All right. If you're looking for a bar fight, there's a specific tavern for that.
Yes, that's the tavern I want.
Okay. Let me pull it up. Yeah, it's number 8, the Empty Net. It's on the other side of the harbor, straight across from Gellen's mansion. So it's a bit of a walk. You'll walk by a lot of different places, including 2 markets. Number 10 and number 9 here have lots of market stalls, basically selling anything that isn't fish in that area. But then you get to number 8. 8 is the Empty Net.
Can I make a pit stop at 10?
Sure. What do you need?
Oh, it's not what I need. It's what somebody else is going to need.
Okay. So 10 is the Shark Fin Bridge. It's a single long bridge that spans across the river, shops and homes along its length. It predates the village and is large enough for laden carts to pass 2 abreast. None of you are elf or fey folk, so that's not an issue. Okay. Oh, and right past it is another place to go shopping, the Green Market, a strip of open land that is the place for everything that isn't fish, salt, or nautical wares. The market stretches among a dozen stalls down to the bridge. A few goats, egg, cloth, marsh plants, and pots are available, as well as the occasional mule or ox for hauling those carts. So, Hayley, what are you looking for?
Can you give me like 2 or 3 people I see in my immediate vicinity?
People. Okay. Yeah, there are a number of people milling about There are shopkeepers, there are housewives who are buying eggs and such to take home. There's the occasional sailor walking around, one or two bums asking for money, that type of thing. Who are you looking for?
I'm gonna approach a sailor.
Okay.
And I have something to offer him, which is gonna make his sailing just as good as Gellen's.
Are you telling him that what are you offering? What's going on?
I'm gonna offer him a bottle of something.
I see. Okay, so you're approaching a random sailor on the bridge. You're saying, excuse me, sir. I've got this bottle that will increase your catch. All you have to do is pour it in the water.
It will make your dick 10 times bigger than Gellen's, let me tell you.
Oh, okay, it's a penis pill. Okay.
Like it attracts fish or something, right?
You look like you have a limp and tiny penis, sir. Let me see if I can help you with that. Oh, okay. Give me a deception roll. I'm going to roll something of my own.
Yeah, Rulian, did you see that she had a tail?
Oh, fantastic.
Fuck.
Okay.
Oh.
So you pull off a classic con move on this guy. You pull him off to the side and you're like, listen, sir, I just got off the boat and boy, are my wings tired. But I've got just the thing for you. I can tell that you are down on your luck. And he's like, yeah, I am. Oh, I'm so poor. And you're like, well, I've got just the thing that's going to help you. Next time you're out at sea, you use this bottle. You just, I guess you said penis enlargement, didn't you? You pour half a glass of this into your wine and drink it, and you'll be rock hard and twice as large. And he's like, wow, that sounds amazing. Oh, I've really suffer from male erectile dysfunction, and what are you offering? How much can I pay you? And you start off with 10 gold. You say 10 gold, and he's like, oh, God, I don't have 10 gold. Oh, Jesus. Oh, I really need that dick enlargement. Can I? And you're like, well, I'll give you half a bottle for 5 gold. Oh, I don't have 5 gold. I've got almost nothing. He goes, how about this? How about I can trade you? And he's like fishing through his pockets, and he pulls out a brass ring. He's like, this is a family heirloom. It's worth, maybe 4 or 5 gold. Can I trade you this for half a bottle of your penis enlargement drink?
We're actually going with the penis enlargement drink.
That's what she said. She said it's making his dick hard.
Rock hard, dude.
Rock hard. Is there a skill that would be able to determine the worth of something? Insight would probably work. Make an insight wisdom check. So if you don't have insight, which you don't, because I'm looking at your character sheet, you're going to add +1. So a d20 +1.
Is any of this in earshot of either I or Pluto? Or do we see what could be going on?
I fucking hope so too.
That's up to Hayley.
Yeah, no, they can hear how amazing I am.
Okay, yeah, she just like, one minute you guys are walking, talking about going to a tavern. The next minute she's pulled open her trench coat and is trying to offer this man some kind of snake oil. And honestly, for a moment, with her roll of 21, you guys are convinced this is great stuff.
Is it insight?
You don't really know. The ring might be worth 4 or 5 gold. It might not.
I was talking about Hayley.
Sorry, what was that?
I was talking about Hayley's concoction there.
Oh, no.
What about it?
I was giving her the information from her roll.
Oh.
I mean, the fact that Hayley came out of the crate and me knowing that I got into the crate via evading the police or whatever the officer that's trying
Military?
to arrest me. Yeah. Knowing that, I would know that she probably wasn't a sailor, so either stole this from the ship or would have is trying to fib this. But as Doctrzombie said, I'm convinced it is that, so I would probably assume that she stole it from the ship.
You don't know how, but that makes the most sense at the moment. So Hayley, you hand over half a bottle's worth, and he basically provides a empty flask that you pour it into, and he hands you this ring, and he's like, "Oh man, my luck's gonna change now. I'm gonna please so many ladies, yar!" And he heads down, just swigging it as he walks, and it's so convincing to him that he starts like pushing his pelvis out forward as he walks, like he's swinging something a little extra. Just grinning ear to ear, drinking, and the concoction he's drinking tastes awful. So he like drinks it and he goes, "Yeah," because every medicine does taste better. So off he goes, and you've got a ring. So write that down on your treasure. 1 brass ring, parentheses, 4 gold worth.
And probably lose a bottle, right? So.
Yeah, half a bottle. Yep. But the
That's okay. I can make more. Don't
I was gonna say the thing with Hayley's bottles is she can always make more. Just needs whatever sort of seawater is nearby.
Trust me, I know my talents.
Yep. Okay. Anything else relating to this event, or are we going to continue toward the tavern?
No, that's all I needed. Anybody else?
Is that the Doctrzombie penis enlargement drink?
Oh, it's the bathwater. Let me tell you about it.
Gamer boy bathwater.
So let's go get drunk and punch somebody in the dick, right?
Okay. Well, there's one guy who's pretty sure he'd get punched in the dick. Partially supported by stilts driven into the harbor waters, a rickety tavern is purportedly a haven for smugglers, mercenaries, assassins, and even pirates. As you approach the empty net, according to a ragged old sign in the front with a picture of a net with no fish in it, 2 large, burly men in black leather armor walk out the back door, dragging a drunkard between their arms who's got a bloody nose, who says, "I'm not done with him yet, let me back in, I'll stab him in the throat." And they throw him into the harbor off the back deck. They clap their hands together and walk back inside. And then you guys walk to the front door.
I'm entertained.
Okay. Inside the empty net, it is a dingy, darkened room that smells vaguely of salt water and grog. There are a number of tables that look like they've been rebuilt multiple times after having collapsed from someone being tossed on them. But the building is mostly empty. It is noon. So most of the sailors who would normally inhabit this room and ask for a dick punching are currently out at sea. So when the 3 of you walk in, Pluto, one of the guys in the back who recognizes you with a big black eye, raises a glass in your direction. But for the most part, there's plenty of places to sit. It's fairly empty. There is a male human who is standing behind the bar, cleaning a glass, as pretty much every bar owner ever does in any sort of scene where there's a bar and a bar owner. He's it's comforting. He's just actually he's not nearly as burly as the guards that are standing both at the front and back doors. He seems a little more thin. less sailor and more private entrepreneur. But he gives you a polite nod and gestures to one of the empty tables.
Does anything stand out where I'm standing, or?
The only thing about the tavern that makes it particularly noteworthy, other than the fact that you've heard it's from Pluto, that it's the place to go if you want to get into a bar fight, is that there is a large empty net across the ceiling, kind of like giving it a mild nautical theme, without being like Cracker Barrel level of theming. It's some old fishing net that they've tied up to give the place a more interesting appearance.
I'm sure Oswald's used to being wrapped in those.
PTSD.
I've been wrapped up in that one before already, and I point up to it.
Actually, Pluto, you probably recognize the tavern owner. His name is Kreb Schenker. He probably got you this job, or at least introduced you to somebody who may have introduced you to somebody who then got you this job. Sailors come in here. You came in here one night. You're out of work. Kreb says, I bet I could get you a position on Gellens. How are you at not asking questions and lifting heavy objects? And, of course, after talking to some of your former sailing mates, you passed the test and were let in to Gellens' crew. Doing simple tasks, swabbing decks, carrying boxes, and then, of course, accidentally going into the side door of his secret smuggling mansion room this morning.
I'd like to ask Oswald what he knows about the bar owner.
Okay. The three of you pop a squat at one of the tables that goes whenever you bump into it. And you ask away while Kreb brings over some empty glasses.
Empty? What the fuck? Fill that shit up.
Well, he's about to ask you what you want, but you talked to Pluto, so I'm letting you finish that conversation first.
Oh. What do you know about him?
He's a good guy. He doesn't mind if you pick the shit up off the floor that people drop. It's less work that he has to do. And that's why I like it here.
Are there many things that are dropped?
Sometimes.
Mostly
Depends on the
teeth.
I got a free shoe once.
And Pluto holds up one of his feet, which has a very different looking shoe than the other foot. So Kreb comes over. What can I do for you?
The finest grog.
Finest grog, he laughs.
I'll take the shit, because that's all you got.
That's the same grog.
That's what I want.
He pours you 3 full tankards of foamy, disgusting grog. It's a copper apiece, so mark off 1 copper piece from your sheets. If you need to do quick conversions, 1 gold is 10 silver, 1 silver is 10 copper. Ta-da! You can do base 10.
Math.
So you could convert
Not doing
1 gold
that.
piece into 100 copper, and you give him 1 copper in return for grog. And it's not great. It's a little bit of alcohol mixed with seawater and sugar, as far as you can tell. It's exactly what pirates have grown used to. You do see sort of a scribbling of a menu behind the bar. Fish sandwich, a copper. Grog, a copper. Fried chips, 2 copper. The works, 3 copper. And so it's all very inexpensive, but you get the feeling, and Pluto, you know this for a fact, that he gets a lot of clients, and he's selling basically free for him potatoes or fish heads that he chops up into a sandwich. So he makes a ton of money just serving McDonald's.
I'm gonna pour a bottle out of my coat and pour it into my grog.
Yep.
You said what foods for?
So there's fish sandwich, there's fried chips, which is basically French fries, and there's grog, and then there's a few more expensive alcohol options, like hard liquors. They've got there's what appears to have been the words fancy elvish wine, and the words fancy and elvish have been scraped off. And now it just says wine, 1 silver.
Yeah, then I'd like to order fried chips.
All right. He takes a note, and a few minutes later, piping hot, slightly burnt, but not too bad, chips, and a bowl of what you assume is tartar sauce. And hope is not man sauce.
I sniff the bowl.
Of the sauce?
Yeah.
It smells vaguely fishy.
I bet you do.
There's definitely a chunk of pickle in it, so your guess is tartar sauce does make sense.
You never know with the semen.
Oh dear lord. So you guys are enjoying your grogs and your food? Any other conversations you'd like to have?
I would actually like to get up and talk to Gabe. I forgot his name already.
Oh, no problem. It's Craig. Wait.
Craig.
Kreb.
That's who I'm talking to. Kreb.
Kreb Schenker.
Kreb. I'm talking to him. I want to know. I want to ask him about Gellion. What does he know about Gellion?
He looks over his shoulder. He's like frying some chips in a vat of definitely not cleaned recently oil. And he goes, Gellin Primewater? He's upstanding citizen of the town. Why?
Just intrigued by his success here.
Well, when he sees a opportunity, Gellin takes it and makes him a shrewd businessman and above the board celebrity, local celebrity. He's got a fleet of fishing ships. And that's where I get most of my fish from. Would you like a fish sandwich?
No. Can I convince him to tell me anything different?
Well, you could you have a couple options. You could try to threaten him. You could try to be persuasive, using persuasion, either by flirting or just being nice or trying to suss out some information.
Apparently flattery is my preferred way of getting what I want, so...
There's, not to put too fine a point on it, but there's also bribery, which is an option that some people use to get information out of tavern owners. So those are the three most obvious at the moment.
I would like to bribe him.
Okay. How much are you putting on the table?
1 brass ring.
Okay. Let's see what I think about that. Go ahead and make a persuasion roll with advantage. Now, this means you roll twice and you take the better number. So your persuasion is charisma based, which will give you a +2. So roll 1d20 +2 and then roll it a second time and we'll see which one's better. Ah, there you go. That second one's good. So Kreb leans onto the bar, puts his arms down, and you take subtle notice that he puts his arms down on top of the ring to sort of obscure it from view. And he goes, well, you certainly seem the type of lady who knows the value of a good transaction. Gellin, of course, makes his money the way most sailors do. And most nobles do, by taking advantage of opportunities. And with the eyes of the kingdom elsewhere, he's made a good fortune shipping things in and out of town. That is really a victimless crime. Nobody here would object to there being a few extra star fruit on the market, or a nice papaya. Yet the crown would impose an unfair tax on these goods. So Gellin simply evades the tax. He's always looking for good employees, good, worthwhile individuals who could help him with an assortment of tasks. So if you're looking for work, I could put in a good word for you. And then he leans up from the bar, and the ring that was under his arms is missing.
I'm just interested in knowing him. Thank you for the information.
Well, I will certainly put in a word with him, but who, may I ask, is asking?
It's unknown to you.
An
We never had this conversation.
Well, I can't exactly talk you up if I don't know who you are. Although, there's only one other tiefling in town that I know of, so I could say, the new tiefling woman, and he probably would get it.
That's accurate.
And he looks over your shoulder and he'll say, I'll just mention that you're one of Pluto's friends. Or, well, in this
No,
case,
don't say that.
Oswald's friends. Don't say that. No, not a friend.
It's been 4 days.
Well, you've been here 4 hours. He shrugs. Very well. Listen, why don't you come back later tonight, and if I've heard anything, I'll let you know.
Sounds fair.
He hands you another tankard of grog, and he says, this one's on the house.
Thanks.
Anybody else with anything to do?
Before we leave, I'd like to do a routine walk around the room, just looking at the floor.
Make a perception check. Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
I've done this a few times.
You've done this a few times, so you know the best hiding places where coins or gold teeth roll and no one seems to swing. You do wind up with half of a fish sandwich that hasn't been eaten, and a silver coin that has gotten stuck under one of the table legs. And you just kind of sweep the room doing this, and the patrons are too involved in their lunch to really be interested. There's a guy with a recent wound who's sort of nursing the wound. You assume he just got into a bar fight a couple of minutes ago when the other guy was thrown out. And most people just aren't here. The guards, they don't care at all. They act like you're not even there. They have one job, and that is to throw people out who are breaking stuff. So... yeah, so you walk right by one and you're like, hello, and you pick up a silver coin and he just doesn't even notice.
As I eat my fish sandwich.
Half a fish sandwich. Haha, free sandwich.
Can't let it go
Half
to
a
waste.
fish sandwich.
God only
Never
knows
buy your
who took a
food
bite
here.
of it previously. Never buy food here.
God, I'm just gonna look at them like they're fucking peasants, both eating nasty shit.
just wait for someone to get thrown out and take whatever they were eating. Amazing. Okay, after a good half hour of drinking and eating, you are slightly buzzed, and you've got your meals completed, and you're ready to leave the tavern, or just sit here all damn day. You do notice one of the other patrons is just playing, or two of them are playing cards just in the corner. Probably out-of-work sailors who have literally nothing better to do.
I want to play a game.
Okay. Sidling up to the table. Okay, so you wander up to the table and you're like, hey, can I get in on this hand? And without even looking at you, one of the guys says, nope, private table.
I'm sorry, it's about to be a public table.
You could probably roll a persuasion check.
I don't think so. I don't think she's interested in persuading. So the one guy is...
No, this is more of a demand.
One guy is dealing out cards. The other one cracks his neck one way and then the other way. And he goes, listen, lady, we said this is a private game. You're not invited.
Punch him in the dick!
Roll it! Okay, you're getting into a bar fight right away. Mr. Fantastic and Pluto, are you guys still sitting at your table, like, cleaning up your last couple chips and or pieces of fish sandwich while Hayley's doing this?
Yeah, I'm disgusted by them.
Yeah, but I'm gonna stand up because I know shit's gonna roll on the floor.
As soon as
Yeah,
you hear...
you could probably hear.
Yeah, as soon as you hear Ray's voice, and it's quiet. I mean, there's almost nobody here. As soon as you hear Hayley's voice raise up, you realize the sounds of a bar fight. Hayley, I need you to roll a unarmed attack roll. So what you're going to do here is you're going to roll a d20 plus your strength modifier, which is a 1, plus your proficiency bonus, which is a 2. And you're just going to punch him in the dick.
Punch him in the dick, dude. Can I add? Do I just do +3 then?
Yeah, just +3 is fine. Okay. So
Punch him in the dick!
you grab the table, pull it aside so his dick is exposed, and punch him in the dick. To which he exclaims, "Yar, my barnacles!" Now, roll damage. This is going to be 1d4 plus 1 for your strength. This is how many hit points of damage you're dealing to him with a direct hit to the crotch.
I'm sorry, 1d4?
Yep.
1d4 plus 1?
Yep. You have a +1 for your strength, which is amazing for a wizard. Okay, you do 2 points of damage to him. So, I mean, it's nothing like going to send him to the hospital at the moment, but he's definitely grabbing his crotch with both hands and going, "Oh, she hit me in the crotch!"
Well, is he going to let me play a game?
They both stand up, throwing their chairs back, and now they're going to roll initiative because they're both going to try to beat you up. So, initiative. This is going to require a 1d20 plus your initiative modifier, which is in that little box above your hit points. For you, Hayley, it's +1. Pluto, Mr. Fantastic, you both need them as well. I will need 2 different initiatives. One for
initiatives.
the pirates and one for the guards. Excellent.
Fuck.
Okay. Let me just grab I should grab a scrap paper here. So I can keep track of who's going when. Alright. So.
Is yours supposed to be -1?
Yep.
He doesn't have good dexterity, apparently.
Yep.
Why'd you
Yeah.
roll it twice, though? Was that an accident?
Did you say? I thought you said the roll it
No, he
twice
said he
for
has
when
to
the
go
guard.
twice.
No, I said I need to roll twice, because I have 2 different groups of people. Okay, so, let's see.
Let me tell you guys how I fucked up.
You did fuck up a little bit there. So, Mr. Fantastic, or I should write your names down in character so that I start
This is where
using
fireballs just come in handy.
The entire building burns down.
them.
I mean, I could just freeze them where they're at.
All right. You're going to kill them? Interesting choice. Okay. So, they throw their chairs back and stand up with their fists up. The guards all come to attention, but they don't immediately charge at you. They're waiting to see if maybe someone diffuses the situation before they actually have to get their hands dirty. The pirates, on the other hand, do not. And they will both attempt to punch you. So, the first one is the one you hit in the dick. He's going to roll to hit you. That is a mere 8, which is definitely going to miss. Even as a wizard, he just swishes as you duck out of the way. Then his buddy attempts to punch you in the back and also misses.
Ha! Stupid bitches! Fuck you guys.
You dart between them while they both swing their fists around, and they completely miss. Aurelian, you're up.
Alright, so I'm rolling a 1d20.
If you're running up and doing anything, what are you doing? Are you stabbing them or just punching?
You just punch him in the dick. Let me tell you how much fun it is.
I feel like I would have ran up and asked, like, what the hell's going on before they started throwing punches. Like, both of them are, like, in front
It's
and
too late.
behind
There's
Haley,
punches
right?
thrown.
Okay. Then, yeah, I would probably try and punch one of them.
Okay, which one? Are you going to punch the one that Haley already hit, or are you going to punch the other one?
Which one's closest to me?
Probably the other one. He's moved behind Haley and is trying to punch her in the back.
Then I would go for that one, yeah.
Alright, roll to hit. Unarmed strike is going to be your strength modifier plus your proficiency bonus. Plus a d20. Alright, that connects. You punch this guy in the back of the head while he's distracted by Haley. So roll a d4 plus your strength modifier.
That would be with the proficiency, or
If you are proficient in unarmed attack, actually, I probably shouldn't be giving you a proficiency bonus with your punching either. I don't believe so. As a fighter, you're proficient with weapons, not so much fists.
okay.
So just your strength. I'm giving you the proficiency bonus on attack because it's more fun to see people hit than to miss. Okay, you do 5 points of damage to this guy, to the back of the head, and he crashes into Haley's back as he's going to the floor unconscious. Pow! His lights go out. Cat, you're aware that Aurelian has come up behind you and just beaten one of the two guys to the ground, leaving you and formerly not bruised penis alone in the corner.
Is he still angry?
Yeah, probably. He's a surly, out-of-work pirate who was trying to play a calm game of spades when you punched him in the dick.
I'm about to kick him with a heel or something.
All right, you're gonna kick him. Pluto. What the fuck? You go last, I believe, right? I think I did that right. Oh no, Haley is last. My bad. I switched you. All right, hold on. I'll have Oswald go before you, Haley,
Okay.
because
I'll just be standing here with my heel up.
technically his turn. Yes, you're getting ready to kick him. Oswald, what are you up to?
I'm gonna yell over to Krebs, sorry, Gellen's orders to watch over him, and I'm gonna run up behind the guy and like uppercut his dick.
All right,
From behind.
another shot to the dick.
All the shots to the dick, yes.
Oh, you missed.
Disappointing.
He's protecting his balls right now. He's well aware that they're there. They're in a lot of pain.
He still has his hands over his balls from the pain.
Yep. You're trying to get that fist in there, but he's just got it covered. All right, now you can try to kick him, Haley.
Oh, I want to kick him down and then walk on him.
All right.
What is that?
Roll a d20 plus your strength modifier.
Okay.
So +1. Ooh, not good. Nope, you try to kick him. You actually almost kick Pluto as you're kicking around, but he's not fallen for this one again. You surprised him the first time, but now he's ready. It's the guards' turn, and they all come rushing at you. Haley, one of the guards, tries to grab you. And misses. You wiggle out of his grasp. Another guard tries to grab you, since you started the mess, and this one does. So he grabs your hands and pulls them behind your back. He's now grappling you. You and him are basically hugging each other as he's trying to carry you to the back door to be tossed into the harbor. On your turn, you're going to try to wiggle free, but for now, he's holding on to you. The other two guards, one of them is going to try to grab Aurelian, and fails to do so. The other one's going to try to grab you, Pluto, or Oswald. And he succeeds. And he just lifts you up into the air. And your feet are kicking, and he's just holding on to you. The pirates go. You've been pulled away by the guard. Let's see how he reacts to this. Okay. So the pirate backs into the corner, still clutching at his nards. And he goes, "Crazy bitch attacked me for no reason. I didn't do nothing." And that's all he does. Aurelian, you are currently not grappled. There's a big burly man trying to grab you and throw you out the back of the door. Hayley and Pluto look like they're going first. What are you going to do next?
Is there any, do I know whether or not I would be, arrested?
Can I yell at
for
him to
any
get out of
this?
here?
You do not know. You have no idea. You haven't spent enough time in the town. Nobody's mentioned anything, but you do know that this building is A, frequent for bar fights, and B, seems to have their own security that simply throw people into the harbor.
So there's one grappling Pluto, one grappling Hayley.
Yep.
One about to grapple me.
Yep.
Contemplating if my character would run or...
Leave, dude. Slip out the front door.
Hayley is yelling, "Run away."
Then I just fucking dart out of there.
Okay, you attempt to run out the front door, and the guards let you pass. They are interested in getting rid of you, and you appear to be doing that yourself. So you dart out the door. Oswald, you are currently grappled. You have two main options. You can either try to do something called it used to be escape artist, so now it's probably going to be a dexterity saving throw. Or a strength check opposed by the person who is trying to hold you. So basically you try to force their arms open. Or you try to wiggle out. Or you can do nothing and simply let them throw you into the harbor.
So, is the guy backed away from me, right? He's
Yep.
in the corner?
Yep.
So,
He looks like he's happy that you're going to be leaving.
I'm just gonna give a great yell and enter a rage.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try to break out with athletics, I think it is.
Okay. Yeah, sure. That makes sense. Athletics. So Oswald starts foaming at the mouth, and his eyes become bloodshot, and he's just... and he's going to make an opposed athletics check.
And I have advantage on that because of my rage.
Ooh, you're going to need that advantage. Yeah, he's holding on tight. Oof. Well, the better of the two is the 8. So you start kicking and screaming and swearing and halfling, but this dude's muscles are just wrapped around you. He's got his arms locked in place. He has practiced this move before. That is your turn, Hayley. You're up. Cat.
Can I convince him that we are not the ones who are the problem? That it's the other man?
You can try, but he did see you deck the man in the penis. Which, even for this tavern, is a low blow. Make a persuasion check. Not too many people willing to punch somebody in the dick here. It's mostly above the belt fighting.
So I'm gonna want to go pee, and since I'm not like
Sure, no problem.
doing anything.
Okay. So you're trying to persuade him not to throw you into the drink. He'll roll against that. So he looks over at the tavern owner, Kreb, and Kreb shrugs his shoulders a bit, and then gives a little thumbs down, and the guard will plop you down into a chair, boom, and says, "No fighting," which you're positive is bullshit, but he does release you. The other guard will carry Pluto to the door, and then turn back and look at Kreb, who also gives the thumb down side, and he'll put you down carefully. You didn't actually hurt anyone. It looked like you just came to her defense. He goes, "Knock it off, Oswald," and gives you a little whack on the side of the shoulder. And of course, you're still enraged. Fuck! But he releases you as well. The pirate in the corner is like, "She attacked me first. The fuck!" But he pulls his chair up to the table that he was at with all the cards, and then reaches over to a pile of coins that his friend had and takes a few of them and slides them into his pocket. And then waits for his friend to wake up a few minutes later. And his friend just gets up, rubs his, back of the head where he got hit. There's like a lump there now. He looks around for Aurelian, who's not there, grins a bit because he assumes that he got thrown into the harbor, and then sits down at the table and looks at his chips, or his coins, and he's like, "I thought I had... fuck it." And he starts playing cards again. I think that's where we'll end. It's almost 11 o'clock. I think that's a good place to stop. Before we go, does anyone have any questions, comments, anything that you want to discuss before we head out for the night?
I would just like to say you're welcome to Oswald.
I don't think the guy would know who I am, though. I think his friend might know, but I punched him in the back of the head, and I was already behind him, though, right?
I mean, he knew who was there, because there aren't too many people there. It wasn't like a big crowd. So he probably was like taking numbers, and he's like, "Oh, well, that guy probably hit me because he's not here anymore." And you do notice that nobody gets thrown off the back. So you come back around, peek at the door, and realize that everything's calmed down. It's like really weird. You come back and everyone's sitting at the table again. But Kat and Oswald probably are done eating and done fighting, so they probably leave a few minutes later anyway. Okay.
So how many... do you think that guy that you sold that penis enlargement stuff to is only filling his boats with semen?
I mean, whatever works. I used it for my benefit, and that's all that matters.
All right. A life of petty crimes, the campaign.
Petty crimes for important information, because now I know something that you guys don't know, and you'll figure it out later.
I'm terrified to ask what it is.
He doesn't even know what I know, so it's even better.
That people here like penis enlargement stuff. Okay.
Who doesn't? I've never heard a woman, nor man, nor they, him, her, she, they, them complain about a large penis.
I specifically have complained about my excruciatingly large penis multiple times.
Doc, we don't
during
need to talk about.
I reduced. It's better now. I haven't knocked anyone unconscious accidentally by spinning in circles. It's way better. So.
Do you still nut in your sock, though?
No, not anymore. I
Oh
had it
God,
reduced.
what is this?
Now it's more like my knees. It's fine. So, all right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us and watching tonight. I'm glad. I hope you guys had a good time. There was not a lot of chat, which is totally understandable because I was focused entirely on what's going on here. I will not be playing this weekend. No streaming for me this weekend because I will be playing D&D again. Only it'll be with a non-live streamed group.
I will be follow Hayley. It's not funny at twitch.com.
Yes, please go to Hayley's channel this weekend. She'll be doing live streaming for your enjoyment.
And we're gonna get drunk and go ghost hunting right now and yell about punching people in the dick.
In the dick. I'm looking at my future. Man, weekends are just like I've got so many D&D games, and now they're starting to meet again because COVID is kind of winding down a little bit. So probably the next thing I'll do is either Murder Monday or, depending on how people feel, Murder Monday might start be going away. It seemed like there was only a lukewarm response to Murder Monday this week. Maybe it's just Hayley and I weren't in the mood for it, or but there was less than 10 people. But there are so many other games that I need to play. I have Minecraft, I have RimWorld, I have Phasmophobia, I have Dead by Daylight, I have fucking everything. Crusader Kings, or as I call it, incest in the 800s. So, anyway. Anything else before we head out, guys?
No.
All right.
Good times.
I'm glad we were able to do this. It looked like it was touch and go. So, everybody, have a good night, and I'll see you next time.
See ya. Bye.
Bye-bye.